I'm the co-founder of Mad Scientists, so I guess started the project, and that's why I'm on this spaces right now. And like I said, happy to be here. I feel like there's a lot of Russian here. I'm pretty rusty, but привет, как дела?
Wow, your Russian sounds good. Отлично, дела отлично. Can you tell us what was the point of launching your token to mint your NFT?
Sure, that's an excellent question. One, you have to understand that Mad Scientist brand or IP, the vision behind Mad Scientist is to experiment and try new shit. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, just like experiments, I guess, in that sense. And we wanted to solve for a problem. So the problem in the NFT space right now is if you have a mint that you know is exciting, right? You know this mint is maybe first on a certain chain, or you really love the art, or you think that utility is going to be amazing. The NFT project does all this marketing and you're very excited about it, but NFTs come in limited quantity. So not everybody will get the opportunity to mint. So how do you solve for that? Well, currently NFT projects give away whitelists, right? That being said, obtaining a whitelist can be very tricky, can require a lot of effort, and at the same time can be gamed, right? Some people can create multiple accounts or they can give it away only to their friends. So in that sense, the whitelist is not the most optimal way of allowing people to mint. The other option without doing a whitelist is doing a stealth mint. So basically not announcing that you will be doing this very cool project and just launching it and then having people kind of buy into it as, you know, they find out about it. That being said, again, if you were on vacation that day, or I guess if you didn't know that this was happening because the project did no marketing, well, you're going to miss out on the stealth mint. All the people that are aware about the mint are going to mint it, and then you're going to be buying in late, or you're going to be buying in at a much higher price. In that sense, right now, it's very difficult to solve for a hyped NFT mint. And what we came up with is this lab token idea. So basically, anybody can buy into the lab token at any amount. You can buy $1 of lab, or you can buy $1,000 of lab. And we had hyped this kind of process beforehand, so everybody was aware that this is happening. And when it did launch, I guess you could buy in a little bit, you could buy in a lot. If the price of a lab token was too much for you, you could always kind of say, well, I don't want to be part of this. This is too expensive. You know what? I will remove my money. In that sense, at the end of the sale, once we sold all the lab tokens, well, I guess you could trade the lab token, or you could decide to mint an NFT. So for us, it was a very fair process, and we kind of bypassed the whitelist process, we bypassed the stealth mint, and we obviously bypassed the bots, because you couldn't bot this mint since, it was kind of like this fair quote unquote launch of the lab token. So this is definitely a different way of minting an NFT project, but I think a lot of people enjoyed the process and really liked it. And we got lots of compliments on, how we developed this. So I don't know if you were part of the lab genesis. It was definitely something that is outside of the box. And like I mentioned earlier, we want to be doing experiments. And this experiment, I think, was very successful. And I'm hoping that more projects adopt the same model in the future if they are launching, this very hyped NFT mint, and they kind of want to not do stealth mint, not do whitelist, and not get botted.
I used StreamSwap. I bought one scientist, and I sold this NFT because I don't have too much time to be focused on NFT collection. I have a lot of things to do, so I have also my collection. I need to make Cosmos news. I need to build my community, and I decided to solve it because I just can't track what is going on with your community. So I decided to solve it. But I like the style, and I like what are you guys did and are you guys doing. And I would like to take your interview today because maybe I made mistake and I need to buy it again, the scientist.
You know, NFTs are the most degenerate asset, right? It's a subculture of a subculture. So, and it's extremely volatile. All the big blue chip NFTs on the ETH or the Solana blockchain, haven't been doing so hot recently. And that's fine. So maybe in terms of trading, you did the correct move. And I do hope I can, maybe sway you a little bit today to join back the community. There's a lot going on with Mad Scientist. I agree. That being said, most of the time, you don't have to do anything, really. You can just hold it on the Osmosis chain and be happy that way. Or if you want to get very involved, well, there's a lot of things you can do. But you don't have to do them, is all I'm saying. You can be a passive.
Yeah, we will talk about it a little bit later. No rush. Okay, so you have raised quite a large amount of money. How are you going to spend it on?
I'm the co-founder of Mad Scientist, and the other co-founder is Kudo. We also co-founded the project called Rec Gang. But with us, we have our partners that passed the initial prop on Osmosis for the minting of NFTs, because Osmosis is a permission chain. I do like the fact that it is permission, but that being said, you could not mint any NFTs on Osmosis beforehand because there were no contracts deployed for that. The Backbone, well, I guess the sale team, which are friends with Backbone Labs, passed this prop to allow the minting of NFTs. So this kind of roundabout way to say that we split the pot in half between the Backbone Lab team and myself and Kudo and the Mad Scientist quote unquote team that you see in Discord and on Twitter. So for us right now, we raised, like you said, 2.4 million Osmo. There were some fees for stream swap, so on and so forth. I think 1.1 million is what came back to us, and please don't quote me on the exact numbers, plus minus 10%, right? I think right now we have 600,000 Osmos staked. All the other Osmo is basically liquid, and we are here to build cool shit on Osmosis. So that is our mission. That's what we're doing with the money, and the rest, like the 600 or the 500,000 or whatever it is right now in terms of staked, that is to power our liquid staking derivative called BOSMO. So I don't know if you were familiar with that concept. Is basically we do have this NFT fi to our NFTs, and we have this liquid staking derivative called BOSMO. And basically what we're doing is we're staking Osmo, which generates yield. There's APR or APY for staking Osmo. And you can kind of create this liquid staking derivative around it and auto compound this yield. And the fees from the auto compounder, there's like a small percentage that goes back to this protocol called Gravedigger, which is managed by Backbone Labs. And then you get some yield back for your NFT. In that sense, most of the money went back to powering this liquid staking derivative. So basically bringing back yield to this community in a very sustainable way, which I think is what's cool, is the fact that this yield, as long as Osmosis is giving out rewards, this yield is sustainable, right? Like it's not like we're spending money. It's just we're giving you the yield. So in that sense, it's quote unquote, I don't really like this term, but I think real yield is the appropriate term, but it's not my favorite way of phrasing things. And that's what we're giving to people. So that is one thing. But yeah, like I said, the rest is to build out cool shit on Osmosis. We will be launching a hackathon. We will be, that will be again provided from the rewards of this raise, and creating all these events, Cosmoverse. We were at Devmos. We have lots of things in the pipeline that I think people are going to find interesting. But basically, yeah, just building out cool stuff and experimenting on the Osmosis chain. If you're not familiar with myself as a person, or I guess as a community member, like I said earlier, I did launch Rec Gang. This was 3 years ago. The project is still doing very well, and we minted that on Terra Luna, and then it collapsed. And then we did all the bridging for free. We still maintain the project for free, and we are here for the very, very long term. So we don't want to be spending too much money. We kind of want to be slowly using that if we need to use it. So that's basically it. It's the yield and building cool shit.
Let's talk about cool shit. For example, when we can try your cool shit, what you guys cooking now, for example, after 3 months or after 6 months, just the favorite cool shit what you can show us.
My favorite cool shit has not been announced, and I can't speak about it. It will be maybe live in about 2 months, but might as well mention the cool shit that we already have and that you can try right now, just so people kind of understand what we've been building. So, we are the first mint on the Osmosis chain. Like I mentioned earlier, it is a permission chain, but that being said, we are the first NFT collection on Osmosis. So that is super cool. That being said, back in the day, there was no trading of NFTs on Osmosis. So one of the cool things that we built out, and you probably already tried this, is kind of this bridging from Osmosis to Stargaze and basically trading your NFTs on Stargaze and then bridging back. We are the most bridged, quote unquote, collection within the ecosystem. So using ICS 721. Yeah, so that is something that you can play with right now. Then the second thing that we launched shortly after this bridge, which I think is very unique and very kind of experimental, again, to use the term, is the Mad University. This one is a little more labor intensive, quote unquote, but it is something that is, I think, again, unique in the space. I'll be using that word a lot. But what it does, it's this kind of like rewards platform for people engaging on CT or on X, whatever you like to call it. As you are aware, you're a YouTuber, but you know that X is a very important platform for the marketing and raising the awareness of your project or whatever you want to do for crypto, right? Like it's the preferred platform, in my opinion. So what this Mad University does is it actually scans if you're using a Mad Scientist PFP. So whenever you switch your little profile picture to a Mad Scientist, the university will scan it. And once it has scanned that you actually are using a Mad Scientist PFP, because that's kind of the biggest value prop of a PFP project is people using that as a profile picture. Well, then if you post about Mad Scientist or you do anything like that, then you get kind of these raffle tickets and you get rewarded for it. So this is something that we have built out, like kind of this PFP scanning, X tracking DApp that checks.
1 second there. You told absolutely incredible things. So I'm also NFT creator. Can I use your application or your university for myself, or it's only for Mad Scientists?
I can connect you with the dev. Absolutely. There's some cost associated with it, of course. But I can connect you with the dev. It's not like something that is proprietary to us. The dev actually wanted to launch something, perhaps some sort of labs, and then we sell the tech. But I'm really interested in kind of, the tech is really cool, but I'm really interested in communities using the tech. So I don't need like to make money off of it. And we can just see what works best for this dev that built it out and you guys. So if you want, we can take it in DMs, and yeah, it's not like we can hook you up with it if you want us to. And then, like I said, what this does is it tracks if a person rocks a certain PFP on X, and if it posts about, whatever you want them to post about on X, and then you get like rewards for it. There's a whole leaderboard and, people get excited around it. So this is what we call the Mad University. The goal here is to bring culture for Cosmos or for Osmosis. It's a great marketing tool and so on and so forth. So if you want to be part of it, and you could brand it however you want it. If you want to call it DeFi Geek University or, your collection, all the back end can be what he builds out. And let me just ask him, right, if it's okay, but I don't think it should be a huge problem. So if you want to be a part of it, we can continue that conversation.
I also really like experiments. So you told about bridging. I already did it. So I like this stuff. I like to try something new. That's why I'm also trying different decks, different lending, because it helps me to understand how good devs in their field.
I mean, I don't want to talk about Rec Gang, but it is a multi-chain project on like 11 different chains. So bridging of NFTs is something we had thought about for a very long time earlier. And really, I think the huge value of being on numerous chains or like you say, experimenting is learning what works and what doesn't. I mean, Cosmos is great, but there's some amazing stuff being built on Solana. And if you're not looking at that ecosystem and seeing what they're doing and taking away, some learnings to apply into Cosmos, then I think you're really missing out. And same can be said for any chain, right? Like there's some cool shit being built on Ordinals or on ETH. And obviously Cosmos has a huge dev kind of force. But that being said, sometimes I think the marketing, it requires a little more thought, but you have to try stuff and you have to look elsewhere and understand what people are building to enhance or I guess elevate what you're doing.
Actually, I really like Solana, and my first education with NFT was from Solana. But, I bought many kind of collections and they all went down. So I was not lucky in Solana. But I really understand what we're talking about. So I'm trying to not be so focused only on Cosmos. But let's talk about your collection. I would like to know how much does it cost to create 10,000 scientists? And are they hand-drawn or it was AI magic?
No, they're hand-drawn. Yeah, all our art is hand-drawn by Kudo, who's also the co-founder of the project. You've probably seen, the GIFs, the videos, even the music. Well, I guess the music is not his entirely, but all the videos and the GIFs and the art is hand-drawn by Kudo. So he's an incredible artist. And he doesn't only do, he does pixel art, but he also does 2D. He's very good at 2D as well. We have some sketches. So it's all been done by our co-founder. How much it costs, I don't know. That, he's the one that develops it and we don't pay him like a salary, I guess, in a sense. So because he's the co-founder of the project. So it's kind of like a artist-led project in that sense. And yes, 10,000 is a lot of work. But that being said, we're very proud of what came out of it. In my opinion, I guess I'm biased. Yeah, one of the coolest pixel art out there and the coolest artworks out there as well, with so many unique traits. And they have what we like to say, a lot of personality. So, but what that means, personality, is if you look at the eyes and if you look at the face, usually they tell a story. If you compare, I think a good profile picture to compare it to is something like Utes, which focuses a lot on the clothing and the traits, like the hats and things like that. But usually the face remains the same. In our case, we focus a lot on the eyes and the mouth. So if you're looking at my PFP right now, I don't wear glasses, but I like, the the happiness he projects, right? He looks very, he's like smiling, looks like a good kid. I don't know, maybe a little naive in the sense. But yeah, that's basically kind of all Kudo's work. And he's an amazing artist. And what's really cool, like I said, is he also does the GIFs and the videos on top of it.
I can't understand how to make 10,000 pictures, because for example, now I'm working with my second collection, and if you can open the chat, you can see the sneak peek of this collection. My designer also do it hand draw. It needs a lot of time, and I just don't understand how to make 10,000 very good NFT with amazing quality. I just don't know how to do it. Maybe he has team. He works alone.
He has another guy that actually helps him. So, there's two of them working on it. But that being said, this took like several months, right? It's not like he did this in a week. It's definitely a long thing to build out. I mean, some of our 2K collections take 2-3 months, right? So it is a very labor intensive and labor of love thing to do. He sometimes stays up like 12, 14 hours straight to kind of draw and build and make this happen. So yeah, I agree. And I love, by the way, the pictures that you send me. These are super cool. So, and I love that, it's definitely a different character. I'm not sure. It's not something we've seen before. So that's really cool. So
yeah, the originality for me is the most important thing, and I'm trying to make each PFP different. So I prepare a lot of questions.
Хорошо.
Is there anything you didn't like about launch? Perhaps what you would do differently?
I think in terms of launch, it was very well done. I think there's not much that I would do differently for the launch. Perhaps, it's hard to say in hindsight, but, I think one of the things is we launched pretty quickly. I think, our turnaround time, this whole collection, like I said, took months, and the whole plan took months, but we kind of wanted to have this gradual buildup until launch, and we didn't want it to be too long. I believe from point A to point B, it took us a month from, when we announced this project is launching and then when we actually do the lab token sale. So for me, perhaps maybe extending that period allows you to build a little more community or a little more resilient community. But this is like any NFT project. Again, Rec Gang has been around for 3 years. So, and I know, right, that having a good community just takes time. You have to show up. You have to be, in Discord or on X every day. You have to care. You have to launch things, develop things, make announcements, be on spaces, be present. And that trust gets gradually built up, and afterwards you develop this really amazing and resilient community. So when you do, the issue with a lot of the meme coins, I guess, is, they launch in a day, right? And then the next day everybody left, because this is how it usually works. People go very, very hype, and the higher hype you get, the bigger the crash usually. So we didn't have like the massive super hype, but I think it was still high. But sometimes if you draw this process out longer, then you get like this more stable kind of core community at the end. So in that sense, I guess maybe taking a little bit more time for the launch would have been appropriate, in my opinion, if I was to do something differently. But yeah, for the rest, I think it was to my liking. It was good. I don't know. What did you think? Did you think it was like too quick, or you think if you have feedback, I'm open, man.
For me, as NFT creator, you need to find the perfect moment to launch your collection. Because if market in blood, it's not good time to start. I think you need to wait. You can do everything very good, but if people don't have money, you will have trouble with launching. So as for me, the timing is good for your collection, because you can see now it's bloodbath, on the market.
Right. Like we felt like the timing was very good. So we kind of launched it at that time. But if I could, go back, maybe I would have started earlier and launched at the same time, but having more runway, right, to kind of build out some of that community. So that's just kind of like, if we're being really nitpicky, but I really enjoyed doing the stream swap process. I really enjoyed minting the NFTs on MintDAO and Gateway. I think the bridging stuff was ready as soon as the minting experience was ready. So kind of people could trade their NFTs 1 hour after the mint started. And this is a brand new, ecosystem, right? Like on osmosis, they're bridging to Stargaze, you're trading there. Everything was kind of well-timed in that sense. So to me, I really like the launch. For the future, I guess there's a lot of expectations around this project. And I think you mentioned it. And it will always be always, there will be huge expectations for this project. In a sense, it's amazing for us to have had such a successful lab token launch, but there will be these expectations and we want to meet and exceed these expectations, right? And if they're not immediately kind of addressed, well, I guess some people, they get a little discouraged. But like I said, we've been around for 3 years with a project that has like zero money. And now we actually have some money to build out cool stuff. So managing expectations is always very difficult for an NFT founder, especially when you have like a raise like we had. So I fully understand this. And, you know, whenever people say this project, whatever FUD they throw at us, I don't usually respond because I kind of understand, right? Because it's okay for them to think that way. And we just going to continue, keep on building, keep on delivering, keep on, you know, showing up until the narrative changes.
I agree with you because the worst thing in NFT space is showing roadmap because it's very dangerous when you show your roadmap because everybody is starting to ask you when. Okay, yeah. Okay, next question.
Yeah, it's funny. Just on the roadmap thing, we have completed like 3 roadmaps previously, right? You know, once you complete the roadmap, what do you do next, right? Like people are still there. So even if you show a roadmap, you do everything on the roadmap, then it's going to be like, well, when next roadmap? When roadmap 2.0, 3.0? And then, you know, at a certain point, it's just like, we'll build it and then you guys enjoy it. I think there's also a sense of, I think in terms of marketing, right? Or in terms of hyping the community, there's like more value in announcing something and it's ready or announcing something that they don't expect versus a roadmap. They kind of see it coming. And then when it is delivered, usually what you have in your dream or in your mind is always bigger than what is actually there. So I feel like, yeah, you're definitely shooting yourself in the foot with a roadmap.
So what is the NFT for you and how do you see the NFT market or markets in next 5 years?
The first part of it is very tricky. You know what? I will answer the question by only talking about PFPs. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, I like PFP. I like that from PFP, people know who you are. For example, if I see PFP from my collection, it's like small plus for the geek member from my Discord server. So PFP, it's absolutely okay. Tell us.
Because you can have gaming NFTs, you can have digital collectibles, you can have physical collectibles like baseball cards in NFT form, right? Like real world assets is a real big thing now. And you can have that in a non-fungible version. So there's just so much to discuss. But the ones that I enjoy the most personally is the profile picture NFT, which is, you know, the cartoon JPEGs that we talk about and the art and so on and so forth. I think there's so many layers to a profile picture NFT. And one of them, very important one, is obviously the art. The one that we talk about the most, I think, is the community. But really, to me, I agree with you. Value, or I guess the biggest kind of core utility of a profile picture NFT is knowing who you are. So if you see somebody on X that has a Bored Ape Yacht Club, or let's say a CryptoPunk, right? Then in your mind, automatically this person has some sort of credibility because they're probably, you know, they own some money. And I think that, you know, it doesn't actually mean that they're credible. They could be scammers, but there's this kind of idea when you see somebody post with a certain profile picture on X that you either trust them, you already know what their opinion is going to be, you kind of like that community or you don't like that community. So in that sense, to me, that is the biggest value of a profile picture, is driving the influence, right? And that's what we all kind of are doing here right now in the space. I mean, you're a content creator, you create YouTube videos and you have your community and you have, you know, this Discord, but ultimately that is, I guess, your purpose or your mission is to influence people or to educate people in order for them to, you know, do the right decisions or whatever you choose to do with them. So I guess with a profile picture, if you recognize a certain member of a community, you kind of have this conception that they are either great researchers or, you know, if you see a milady on X, right, you're like automatically, this is going to be super degenerate and I'm going to find this funny, right? So kind of that association differentiation between the profile picture and the community, I think is super strong and what message they carry. So to me, that's why we built the Mad University, right? It is extremely critical for a collection to make sure, if it's a PFP collection, that people actually use it as a PFP. They actually switch, on X or on Discord, whatever, to the profile picture that you want them to switch to, because that actually grows the community afterwards, and then it grows the brand. Yeah, I don't know if that answers your first question, but that's kind of like my vision for profile pictures NFTs. And that's why I think Milady is so strong, is because they have like this very weird, degenerate community that differentiates from anything else. And something like, I guess, CryptoPunks is also very good because like super OG Pudgies, they have their branding and, they have all their IG little mini GIF videos. So this is more like a corporate NFT in some way. So yeah, it's you have to carry a certain message with the PFP, but it tells you who you are.
Yeah, but still we have problem that a lot of people can use fake mad scientists or DeFi geeks in Twitter. We can find fake NFT. I don't know, maybe SuperDev can solve this problem, and everybody who use correct NFT, they have special marks, special notes on Twitter. Can you share your thoughts about it?
I don't know if you're familiar as well with NFT Inspect, which is kind of this platform that tracks different profile pictures and tracks how much their community gets engagement on X. And then they create this ranking. So suppose, we're talking about Pudgy Penguins, probably like top 1 or top 5, because they track all the people with a Pudgy Penguins NFT, they track all their posts, and then they create the score around, how strong this PFP community is and how influential it is within the X ecosystem. And this one is off-chain, right? So the NFT Inspect, you could still use a fake NFT. Twitter used to have it where it actually checked in your wallet if it was a verified collection. But in my opinion, if it is a fake PFP, but it's my collection, I don't really care. I mean, to be honest with you, I'm still happy about that because that increases my reach. That means more people see the collection. Perhaps they're a scammer, but there's so many scammers in this space, so you do have to be careful. So I guess, I'm not that concerned about, fake people rocking my PFP as long as it's mine. I don't know if that's a weird way of seeing it, but that's kind of the way I see it. I think your second part of your question was, what is an NFT for you? And then where do you think the NFT market is going, like in general? I can do it real quick, though. All the NFTs are down. I think I spoke about this earlier. I think we had like a huge airdrop meta that passed, a lot of the Mad Lads, the Pudgies, and I guess the Bad Kids, and now the Sloth being bought out for this, and even Mad Scientists, right? Because people believe in this airdrop meta. I do think the meta is going to continue. It's a great way to know who you are, and the people that actually do hold the real NFT, we can check that on chain. And usually it means they're a real person. So it's a great way to bypass Sybil if you have an expensive or medium expensive, type of NFT. So for airdropping, that to me makes sense. Yeah, you know what? I think that there's a lot of collections. So to me, you really have to find a differentiator for your project to survive. And I'm hoping that eventually, people were saying the meme coin season is dead 3 years ago or 2 years ago, right? Like they were like, memes are not going to be a thing anymore. We had maybe like Dog and Sheep, and that wasn't that long lived, right? Like those were short cycles, and now we have like a meme season super cycle. So I'm hoping eventually we do see interest back in NFTs, because I think the communities are really, really cool, and they actually build some different things, and there's the art behind it, which takes way more work than launching certain meme coins. So we'll see. I'm hoping it recovers, but right now it hasn't been the best.
I like the idea, what you just told us about the cycle, then super cycle. Yeah, it could be. Let's talk about markets, different platforms. So scientists are traded on different platforms. What is the purpose of these?
When we started the Mint, there was no marketplace on osmosis, and you just couldn't trade your NFTs. So people do enjoy trading. So what we did is we implemented, like I mentioned earlier, this bridging tech where you can trade on Stargaze. I am a huge fan of Stargaze. I saw Shane, I think a month ago in New York, and I told him, Stargaze is my favorite NFT trading platform, and I'm on 12 different chains, right? Like I tried them all. I collabed with Magic Eden, with One Planet, trading on Blur since forever. So to me, Stargaze is just kind of the most fun I have trading NFTs. And I really love their marketplace. So to me, it made a lot of sense to have the mad scientists trade on Stargaze. It is the hub of NFTs within the cosmos. That's where you see the most kind of volume. And I enjoy seeing Bad Kids, Sloths, Mad Scientists, all these big collections kind of trading at the same place. I think it looks good. And you can catch some of that marketing. Like when collections trade on OpenSea, right? And you see them trending, you're like, hey, that's interesting. I might look into that collection. So if you have like big collections trending all the time in the top 3 spots, you might get somebody that, I might look into this one. I might look into Mad Scientist and buy one because I see them trending all the time. So from a marketing perspective, from that perspective, I just love Stargaze. So to me, that made a lot of sense. But also we want to offer a native marketplace for the Osmosis community. Some people don't like the Stars token. I think a lot of people actually don't like the Stars token, and they want to be trading, in USDC or something they believe in on Osmosis is Osmo, right? So you have that other option where you trade on Osmo, on Osmosis, using the Gravedigger platform, or I guess Necropolis is the NFT marketplace. That's a different experience, right? So in that sense, we love to experiment, love Stargaze, love people trading in their native currency, and you have both options. So it kind of makes sense. I guess in one way it does fracture liquidity a little bit, but to me it's just worth it. So I don't know. What do you think? I guess a lot of people trade on wherever they prefer. So
Actually, I have a lot of questions for Migalu community. It's look like it's so tricky, so clumsy. Sometimes I'm talking about Gravedigger and I just don't understand their vision. I understand why you came to Stargaze, but I don't understand about Gravedigger. Can you share thoughts about it?
I don't want to talk outside of my scope, right? And I think I mentioned this in the beginning. We are, Kudo and myself are the Mad Scientist co-founders, and we're in charge of the art, the community building in Discord, the X on Twitter, and, doing these spaces and things like that. Backbone Labs is a separate kind of entity that helped us, their sale prop help us get into the Osmosis NFT ecosystem. So I'm not the voice for the Migaloo community or the Backbone Labs community. So I can't really give you that much. I will say I know that, I guess the Backbone Labs community, their vision is kind of unifying the cosmos. That's why they have like different gravediggers on different chains. But yeah, I mean, if you have a lot of questions on Migaloo, I'm not the guy, but I could connect you with the Migaloo people.
No problem. Absolutely no problem, Zach. Okay, so the next question. How many of you are on the team, and do you plan to hire anyone else?
So we keep a small team. I see Trendy in here. Trendy's here. Really, it's Kudo, partner, his partner in art. It's Trendy, who does almost everything else. Myself, and we have Liquid, who's the Discord mod and manager and helps us with a lot of different things. We have a lot of devs that we contract. So the person that built the Matt University, or the people that built, the Mad Scientist minting experience, right? Or the bridging. So we have a lot of people that we pay to develop certain services or features for us, but they are not part of the core team because we don't want to put them, on a payroll. That for us makes no sense because we want to pay them for one thing. And once that's delivered, I mean, maybe we pay for maintenance, whatever we need. But in terms of core team, there's 5 of us. And the reason why we keep it so small is, again, just like the experience with Rect, if you keep a small team, you burn less runway, right? And you can go on for a much longer period of time. We're very cheap with, how we spend our money. And we want the team to be super strong. We trust these people. We know they can deliver, and they've been around with us for a very long time. So in that sense, we absolutely love everybody that's on the Mad Scientist team, and we're not looking to hire, actually. So if we want something done, we will get it done. We will pay somebody externally. That's fine. And that's a done deal. But in terms of core structure, it's us. It's a small team. We're very agile. We can do a lot of things very quickly because we are a small team. We don't have like big meetings and things like that. Like I said, we can survive for a very long time because we don't have that many mouths to feed.
I support this style. Imagine I'm far from all this NFT mania. Could you in any way to motivate me to buy scientists?
You know what? I'll say this to you, and you may not like my answer, or maybe you agree. NFTs, and I'm repeating myself, are the most degen asset in Web3. They're a subculture of a subculture. If you're somewhere far away and you don't even know about crypto, I want you to learn about crypto first. I want you to learn about, just Bitcoin, whatever it stands for. I want you then to learn about, smart contracts and chains with smart contracts. Afterwards, maybe you buy some tokens on an ETF, or if you don't have access to an ETF, maybe you buy tokens on a SEX. Then eventually you go from that SEX into your own wallet. So then you learn about self-custody. Maybe you play with some dApps on Osmosis, on whatever chain, right? Like maybe you play with some DeFi protocols. And eventually, once you go down that rabbit hole and you understand, what NFTs are, that's when we'll get you. We aim to onboard degenerates and devs. That is our target market. I'm not going to, spend millions of dollars or even $100 to try to onboard somebody that is completely chain agnostic, that has no idea what crypto stands for. Like, why would they buy a JPEG? That makes no sense to me. Like, the first interaction they should have with crypto is some fungible tokens. To me, we should be Bitcoin or ETH, if they prefer that. So that is not like somebody I'm going for. And I understand marketing is extremely important and we want to onboard all these users, but I think we onboard these users first by for them to understand the power of crypto, which is the self-custody. It's owning your assets. It's, and Bitcoin, I think, does a great job of explaining that narrative. So you go through there, and afterwards, if you want to go down the rabbit hole and understand all the underlyings and then join an NFT community, then we'll get you there. So most of our marketing in that sense is X, right? Because that's where crypto Twitter community lies. Sometimes we do, Discord and these spaces and things like that, but I won't be doing, I find it funny. And I know Pudgy is huge on this. Pudgy Penguins, they have like toys and Toys R Us, but I'm not sure how many people they're onboarding from Toys R Us into Web3. I think it's all us degenerates seeing these toys and we're like, whoa, this is so cool. And it really is cool. I agree. But I don't know how many people you're going to get into that project from Toys R Us versus me going on a Solana spaces or me going on a Bitcoin spaces or me posting something about Bitcoin and Sol on X and then linking Mad Scientists. There, I feel I can get more people in. That's kind of like my vision for it. My goal is not to bring you from, your house and your crypto naive into Mad Scientists. My goal is once you understand what crypto is, I'll hook you up there. So kind of meet me halfway.
Understood. Let's talk about current situation. So most NFT buyers want to buy and then sell and get profit. At the current stage, the only ones left are those who really believe in scientists. And how now you attract newcomers? How do you attract fresh blood?
Yeah, well, we continue to share about mad scientists or promote mad scientists in that sense, right? So coming to this space is one way. Maybe we get like one person getting into, maybe we get you to join back the mad scientist community. But we always have things that we're building. So most recently, I don't know if you've seen, we even have our own game called Mad Pots. And it's a really cool game. And some people just play the game, right? And they enjoy that. And that's cool. But if they see the IP, they see, oh, these mad scientists, they have a validator on Osmosis chain. They have the Mad Pots game. They have the Mad University. They have these NFTs that are bridgeable. They're first on Osmosis. So then perhaps, with all the things that add up in terms of delivery, they want to join the mad scientist community. For us, I think right now, and I want to be specific here because I think you're asking for a specific question. For us right now, the priority is actually less to get, because I think everybody in the cosmos, or maybe I'm tooting my own horn, but I think a lot of people in the cosmos have heard of mad scientists. And if they like it, they like it. They see the post, that kind of is hitting them again. And maybe they join back, maybe they don't. That's fine. Okay, that's cool. So Cosmos, we continue kind of nurturing that community, watering the plants, and that's good for us. But our next step is a lot of focus on the Bitcoin community or the ordinals community. Because as you are aware, or maybe not, but Osmosis is focusing very heavily on, Bitcoin integration, Bitcoin staking or alloyed Bitcoin. All the Osmosis kind of people.
I'm keep tracking the news with Nomic. Yeah, so I know about it.
So yeah, Bitcoin is a huge focus for us. And hence, the Bitcoin community is a huge focus for us. We've had some collabs with some big NFT projects within the Bitcoin community. And, they retweet us. We talk about them. So for us, kind of getting a little bit of that Bitcoin community, and they have huge liquidity, right? It's not even, it scales, it's 100 scales different versus Cosmos JPEG. So for us, our real focus right now is to expand our reach within the Bitcoin community by creating collabs, working with Bitcoin protocols as well. Again, like I said, there's a few things that I can't announce that are coming up, but that is really our vision is the focus on anything Bitcoin community, because we believe that Osmosis, or we hope that Osmosis will become a major player in being a Bitcoin L2. And once they have their money on Osmosis, which is a Bitcoin, if it becomes a Bitcoin L2, what do you want to learn about? You want to learn more about Osmosis. Oh, do they have any NFT communities? Boom, Mad Scientist. It is the first NFT on Osmosis and the only NFT on Osmosis. So let me join that community. Let me get invested in that. And then I can kind of learn about what they're building and what they're doing. So for us, it's getting that Bitcoin crowd into Osmosis and then into the mad scientist community. Like I said, it's kind of like, you got to ease them into, I'm not going to come to a Bitcoin maxi and tell them buy a mad scientist on Osmosis. For them, it makes absolutely no sense. They're like, why the fuck would I go, to the Cosmos chain to buy this JPEG? But if we tell them, oh, we're collabing with this Bitcoin protocol. Oh, I like this protocol. Okay, cool. And then eventually you can ease them into getting a JPEG or an NFT. So that's how we see our growth. Is we continue what we're doing on Cosmos, which is spreading the word and working with all these Cosmos protocols, but also we want to be focusing on expanding within the Bitcoin realm.
Okay, let's talk about the value of scientists. You already told about PFP, but what is the value of scientists besides PFP?
I mean, to me, again, PFP is the biggest one, but I think people are aware that we do drop BOSMO rewards. That's from the liquid staking derivative every week. And soon we will have the staking where you will get the rewards every day. So you're getting BOSMO dropped a little bit daily. I think people like passive kind of yield, if I can use that term. So there's value in that. And the other values, obviously, I see the perks. We like to call them perks. Please don't use the A word. I think everybody knows what I'm talking about, but things like mitosis points, right? So, I mean, there was like 5 NFT communities in mitosis points. I think it was Azuki, Milady, Sloth, Bad Kids, and Us. And, all these NFTs cost like multiple thousands of dollars, and we're like at 200 something. So in that sense, mitosis points is a huge perk or win for us. Another one that we got recently is Unicorn. We're the top leading community on the Unicorn claim. So that means if you hold a mad scientist and you claimed your unicorn, you will be getting a big clawback of the unicorn token, because we are the number one community that claimed the most unicorn out of I think there's 480 communities. So that just shows how strong our community is on chain, which to me is super cool. We have things that are coming up in terms of perks. Like I think Restake, I'm not going to talk about it because, it's a Migaloo type of project, but we have Sin as well, which is the Galactic Syndicate. That's going to be stream swap in the same way as Lab on Injective. So that will be coming. There's Cook that is coming, and I'm probably forgetting, but I guess in a sense, there's Prism as well. I forgot about that one. That's a new chain that's coming up. So in a sense, there's some perks that you can expect. I don't know if you will be able to recoup 100% of your mad scientist through these perks, but there are some perks, and Trendy and myself, we hustle a lot. I mean, we definitely work very, very hard at getting as many perks. We don't even care about, what it is. If it's $1, we want it. I know some people weren't happy with certain amounts, but we just want every freaking airdrop that we can get, because for us, it's important to, give value back to our holders. I think that's the most important part. So some are going to be great, some are going to be less great, and that's fine. And you don't know, you never know, right? Like you think, oh, it's $1 today, but what if that protocol blows up and then it becomes like $50? That's not bad, right? So anyways, always working on getting you guys more perks, and there's the passive yield from Biosmo. So I don't know, those are kind of like quote unquote value props of mad scientists outside of the PFP, which I'm the most bullish on.
I need to snipe the correct mad scientist. How to choose perfectly? Maybe you have some, where can I choose with special perk number 2021, for example? How to do it correct?
Okay, I'll give you my philosophy, and then you may be different than me. And you are an NFT degen as well. So, but I always say I only have one rule for buying profile picture NFTs, which is buy what makes you smile. So whatever makes you smile when you look at it, or whatever makes you happy, then get that one. That to me makes, the most sense. So it doesn't really matter which one you get, as long as it makes you smile. If you want to pick one out for its rarity, because some people prefer to get, rare ones because they're, they feel like the speculation on that is better because they're more rare, then you can go on raritysniper.com, and there's the full collection there actually of mad scientists, and you can check the rarity there. Obviously, the two marketplaces where you can buy the NFTs are Stargaze or Necropolis on Osmosis, and you can pick the one that you like from there and choose. To me, buy what makes you smile, or if you find something that is very rare by looking at Rarity Sniper, well, then maybe you can spend a little more and get that, and maybe speculate on that a little more at the end.
Understood. Okay, so how do you interact with other collections?
Oh, we collab all the time. I mean, I think we're one of the most collaborative project. And again, I'm just saying that with no proof, but I do like to think we're one of the most collaborative projects, NFT projects within the Cosmos. As much as we can, we're collabing with meme coins. We're part of like the shitmost community now. We're giving away whitelists and tweeting about punks and all these other new collections that are popping up. Whoever wants to partner with us, our DMs are open. We want to collab with everyone. And I learned this, I guess, again, from years of experience. Sometimes you think a project is too small, or, the founder is not the best or whatever, but it's very difficult to say what will happen in 6 months or a year. And maybe the person you said no to ends up being this incredible builder, right? And you missed out on this opportunity. That's why I say I take all the airdrops, if it's all the perks, even if it's $1, because you never know how that can blow up, right? So people that bought WIF, we know we have a lot of people in our community that bought WIF super cheap, and then they sold like a 50 million market cap, and then it ended up going to, 5 billion or whatever it is at. You never know how it can play out in crypto. So I'd rather say yes to more people than say no to the person that eventually ends up being great. It's very short. You don't have time to analyze all the things. So you just say yes, it's a small tweet. Maybe we do a small thing together, and that's cool. And that kind of puts your foot in the door, and you're starting to build that relationship. And maybe in the future, it's going to pay out. So to me, we collab with, again, absolutely everybody. If you want to collab with me some more, I'm into it. I think this interview was set up by somebody from your community, and I think it took us like 4 days. I think Friday they created the group, and we're like, okay, let's do it on Wednesday. So that kind of shows you the turnaround time in terms of collabs that we have. So yeah, we love to collab with all NFTs, all protocols, everybody.
Yeah, I like what you was fast. Can you share your experience with collaboration with blue chip collection like Celestia and Bad Kids?
They don't. That's a different thing. I'm not sure they want to. They are more. It's their decision. The ball is in their camp most of the time. So I'd love to do something, but I guess we'll see. I mean, I'm following the Bad Kids and following the Sloths. I don't think the Sloths are following me back. That's okay. But yeah, if they want to do something, please reach out to me. Let's do something. I think the blue chip collections, they want to keep that. I feel we're blue chip as well, but some people like to keep their brand a little more gated, a little more closed. And I understand, like, do you see Yuga collabing with every single NFT project? No. Or Pudgy Penguins? No, because for them, it's a different mentality. And it's the old mentality. I haven't told you about my background, and I guess I don't know if it really matters, but I'm a PhD in medicinal chemistry. So I'm a legit, mad scientist, if I can use that term. And I work in big pharma, like the biggest of big pharma. If you can name the big companies, I used to work there. And this is a very different approach where the vision there, or I guess the idea is to minimize risk. You never want to take risk. So for them, collabing with someone they don't know or they haven't known for like 5-10 years, it makes no sense. Because if something bad happens with the project that you collabed with, then the shit comes back to you. But that's the old way. I feel like that's the old kind of corporate way. And in my opinion, in this Web3 space, as much as you don't know what's going to blow up, you don't know what's going to blow up. So it can happen, and we just live and learn, and people get hacked and scammed all the time. You got to be more careful, of course. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I have a different idea of what NFTs should be. I think they should be more focused on degeneracy and, self-custody and all those things. And they're very far from the corporate mentality. That's just kind of like a extra banter, or I guess I'm rambling a little bit now.
Okay, so what do you think Sloths and Bad Kids prices? How organic they prices?
Organic is a complicated term, right? Again, I don't want to FUD. I love Bad Kids. I hold a Bad Kid, by the way. I think Bad Kids have really original art. So I love their art. I love some of the styles they have, and they've been around for a while. They've been around for 2 years plus now. So that, that culture, that community that I was talking about, that takes time. They've built it. Many Cosmos devs, OG devs rock a Bad Kid PFP. And like I mentioned earlier, that is one of the best things you can have for an NFT project is somebody that uses your PFP. And I think the prices, they ramped up, I guess, once they reached like $10,000, that was probably a lot of speculation on some of the airdrops that were coming in. So, maybe a little less organic when it reached 10,000, but now I feel it reached like a good point, in my opinion, of what they're worth. And again, like this is super speculative. You can't get more speculative than than NFTs. So if you're telling me, are they appropriately priced? I don't really know, but I feel like it was organic community building. They've been around for 2 years. A lot of Cosmos OG devs rocked it. They got airdrops. So in my opinion, and they got airdrops. I hold a back hit. I got, my back hit was paid over multiple times with the airdrops that I got. So I'm very happy. I'm a very happy back hit holder.
I'm happy for you, but a lot of people just buy it because they are waiting airdrop. And if you're talking about scientists, for example, could we as holders expect the airdrop before the end of the year?
I mean, you'll probably get something, but I don't know what, right? And I don't know how much, but I can't speculate on the amount is what I'm saying in terms of perks by the end of the year. Yeah, I'm pretty positive on that. And again, don't hate me if it doesn't happen, but I would hope that you get something by the end of the year. It's in the works unless something bad happens. Okay. But the amount is a different question, right? I think the amount is a very important question because Bad Kids got airdrops that are very valuable. Things like, Wormhole, which is a protocol that has been building for 5 years or I don't know how long Wormhole has been around, maybe 4 years. A huge protocol backed by Solana. What do you expect in the future to be worth that much? I don't know. I think about it. Even Layer 0, which was one of the second most hyped bridging protocols, dropped tokens to Pudgy Penguins. Pudgy Penguins is a $40,000 NFT. And is the biggest NFT collection right now, we can argue. But the airdrop was worth $500, just to let you know. So I don't know if we'll see the kind of ludicrous amounts of airdrops because it is not like the super bull market and people, getting super hyped behind these projects. So it's difficult for me to tell you the amount is all I'm saying. But you can expect something for sure.
So is Sunny personally involved in the development of the collection and possible partnership arrangements?
Personally involved, no. I met Sunny in New York as well a month ago at the dev event called DevMos. Gave him a lab coat, which was pretty funny. He wore it a little bit at the event. I think he's just a big fan of, Osmosis. Obviously, he's the founder of Osmosis, and we're an Osmosis NFT collection. He rocks the Mad Scientist PFP on X, but he is not personally involved at all. He just, he enjoys the crypto space. He enjoys building cool stuff. We do have a group chat with Sunny and the Osmosis team, lots of the Osmosis devs. Again, I met him in person, and we discuss ideas. We discuss things that we can build out. But it's not like they have a say in our project or we have any say in Osmosis. It's just kind of like we're here building in the same ecosystem and we want to elevate Osmosis together. But he's not like involved in the project in the sense that he creates the art or things like that. So I don't know if that answers that question specifically.
If you know him, and it's okay also if he not involved, okay. So what's the answer? Because, sometimes people who launch their collection, they think that if Sunny, for example, repost the tweet about your collection, it means that maybe he invested a little bit or maybe he in the team.
He did invest a little bit. That is a possibility, But I don't know if that was the question around involvement, but he's not like part of the Mad Scientist core team is what I'm saying.
Oh, interesting. Let's a little bit come back to the drop from Wormhole. How you can comment that I am like the guy who make news about Cosmos ecosystem 2 years. I make a lot of video tutorials, how to use Bridge, how to use DEX, and I just got nothing from most of the, not most of them. I just got nothing, no airdrop like influencer.
Airdrop on your wallet that used Wormhole? Because I, again, don't tattle on me, but I had like 7 or 8 wallets that were eligible just for bridging back.
No. I'm not talking about, airdrop for using the bridge. I got airdrop from Wormhole. I'm talking about different things. I'm so surprised that the community of Bad Kids, each holder got 8,000 wormholes. And I'm, as influencer, got absolutely nothing. It's so strange. I think it's not fair.
I agree with you. You deserve way more. I think sometimes they get a little lazy, right, in terms of distributing their rewards. And then it's much easier for them to just pick a community and hope they hit you versus individually going through content creators like yourself and rewarding you, because you do deserve to get rewarded for creating all those videos. Absolutely. I mean, they should think of a better system, or they should hire more people to, and I think we tried to do that a little bit in Mad Scientist as well, as kind of rewarding a few content creators, and we gave them lab tokens just because we want to be rewarding people for what I think is one of the most important parts in crypto, education. Is it fair? No, it's not fair, but this is kind of Web3 and a lot of things aren't fair. So we're trying to make it fair. And I hope that experience and that learning can be adapted and people can do a better job next time with the next big protocol.
I have a couple of wired questions, and you giving me an interview almost 1.5 hours.
I really enjoy your questions. Like I said earlier, I think you ask like really good questions. This is one of the better. I don't want to throw shade to anybody else I gave an interview to, but you throw, some really good questions. So thanks for.
Last 2 questions. What is your top 5 Cosmos chains? Maybe tokens.
I got to put Osmosis and Stargaze first, for sure. I guess Celestia, does that count?
Celestia, I think it's Cosmos chain also.
Yeah, well, because they're going away from that branding, right? So I would put Celestia in third. Yeah, I like Kujira. I like their community. They've been chill. It's like us ex-Terra people that were in Terra and then started something else. So I do enjoy that chain a little bit. Then, now I have like very few choices for the top 5.
Okay, let's it will be top 4, but can you explain, you like it as user or as developer?
Moses, I love it because our collection is there, and I think it's the best, to me, it is the best kind of UI UX for swaps in the Cosmos, right? It's the hub of liquidity for swapping all fungible tokens. So, and I really love the branding they have. I love the name Osmosis. I think the team is super cool. And obviously our NFTs are on Osmosis. So to me, that makes a lot of sense. And I like their vision for the future, basically the Bitcoin integration, as well as the smart accounts, which will make all the UX so much easier. You one click and then everything happens and you don't have to write your passwords or approve million transactions. So I'm very excited about what they're building. Stargaze, I talked about this earlier, is my favorite NFT marketplace. I think, there's so many cool features being built out in the future, and like Shane as a founder too. So that to me is a no-brainer. Then Celestia, because I think there's a lot of hype and interest around it mostly, and I'm curious about what they build out, and I think a lot of people are into it because there's airdrop potential for the stakers, so that's fine. And Kujira because of the community actually more than anything. So those are kind of the reasons for my top. We used to be on Juno, on Terra, Luna Classic, I guess. Dabble into, Neutron. The hub, I don't do much, but I guess nobody does much there, and that's fine. It's tough to pick out 5 chains. I don't know. Did I not mention one of the ones that you like? Is there one that you like a lot? Oh, you know what? I know the 5th one. Unicorn. That's going to be my 5th one because it's a meme chain built on the Cosmos SDK. So I love that one too.
Actually, a little bit scared. Maybe they would like to scam us. And, 400 community, airdrop to everyone. Website looks really wired. A little bit scared. What is your top 5 non-Cosmos chain besides BTC and Ethereum?
Besides those 2, Solana for sure is easy number 1 afterwards. I've dabbled a lot into EVM, so I will go with base optimism as 2, 3 because I like those. I like base as a community as well. Have some friends over there. Then
let's just stop. Just think about your thoughts, but just tell me why Injective and Say not so growing fast like Solana. It's look like the speed the same, but NFT community don't use them. What do you think about Injective and Say?
I don't dabble too much into them, and for the reason that they, to me, and please don't hate me, anybody from Injective, for me, they don't differentiate enough. Like what is Injective? In a sense, like what do they stand for? That's why I like Osmosis, because Osmosis stands for swaps. You do swaps there, right? It's a permission chain. It's all about the swaps. And I think they're going to become the biggest, swapping chain. Stargaze, NFTs. Solana, super fast. ETH, you got the legacy, the history. And then afterwards, like, how does Injective compare to something like, I guess, Polygon or Optimism or even Base or things like that? Like, it's a cosmos, this mixture, but it's hard to define it. Same for Say. Say is, again, it's and they don't have the tools and the infrastructure that they have on Solana. Like, I mean, you can't compare Injective NFT marketplaces or Say NFT marketplaces with the Solana NFT marketplaces. Like, there are levels. Just the basic features that you have on Solana are so much better. And there is more community. So there's kind of like that flywheel effect, right? That is created. I think Solana really did a great job at that. Remember, you used to just trade on Radium or you just trade on Jupiter, and then you get like airdrop shit all the time. You get like free stuff all the time on Solana, which is great. And I think that keeps the community there. For me, it's hard to find like why Injective, like that big narrative behind it versus Solana or Optimism or another, EVM, whatever you want to call it. So I don't know. Does that make sense to you, or just maybe it's me?
Makes sense, yeah. For example, tell me, Master Yoda, what you recommend to do to make my collection more famous and more popular?
The art was really cool. So you're launching that. I think you should leverage that. I think that's how you get your collection, because people, the most attention you get is at mint, right? Especially if it's a hype mint. So I would try to leverage that new mint and pair it with what makes, I always say this advice to all the NFT founders, and I don't know if I'm like the Master Yoda that you say, but I've seen a lot of launches and I've advised a lot of people. But when you launch an NFT collection, this is what I mentioned for Injective, you have to find your differentiator. You have to find what makes your collection so special. And I think in your case, what makes your collection so special is the community that you have. So trying to tap into that community and kind of leveraging that and connecting the two, to me, would make the most sense. So that's how I would market it. Like, we have 7,000 people in our Discord and 9,000 people on YouTube watching these videos. We have this huge, very engaged and active on-chain community. So if you want to be part of it, you need to get this NFT. And we already have a community. It's not like we're building one from scratch. We already have a very strong core group that has been established for a few years and that is, very knowledgeable about all these chains and can help you, with alpha, right? With some education, whatever you guys want to push there. But that's how I would connect. I would try to leverage the energy from the new mint, and your differentiator is the established community that you already have. And this is like just a quick kind of, but we can talk about it offline a little more if you wish.
It's advice for me. For example, in the audience, the Dollar Boy, it's a guy who just launched his collection, and it's just normal collection with very nice art. He just started building his community. What you can advise him? How to become famous and popular and make community stronger?
Expedition, right? NFTs. I clicked on his name. I've seen this around.
Yeah, Expedition. Yeah, exactly.
They're pretty
very,
cool looking.
Very good art.
Yeah, they're really nice looking. Oh wow, yeah, these do look good. It's all minted out though. Okay, Dollar Boy, I love the art. I think your community is already pretty big for the collection size that you have. It's a small collection. It's like 1,000 pieces, and probably many people hold more than one. It's very difficult to market like a smaller collection like this if you want to grow. So to me, and I mean, you don't have to do this, I would do like, I don't want to say mutant expedition picks, but maybe you do a new series and the current holders get one for free. And then the new ones, you get to mint them, and then you expand a little bit the collection because it's kind of small for if you really want to grow. But then again, what is your purpose? What is your objective? Is it because if it's just to have this cool art, then it's great. If you want to create, I don't know, this huge community, then you obviously need to expand. So you got to understand, what is your vision in 6 months, 1 year? What do you want to be doing with this community? Do you actually need to expand the community, right? Is that necessary? And if you do, I would do like a second series. That's kind of what I'm seeing right now, because I don't know if you can get many more followers for, how many holders there are here. 691, and you have like a 1,000 piece collection. I mean, like it's already, you're already at 62% distribution. It's kind of hard to grow from there because it's not like this huge size, but that's fine. It's cool. Anyways, but yeah, think about why you want to grow the community again. And if you really want to grow it, because right now it feels like fine art, like this very special and exclusive NFT. And it's fine to be just art and people speculating on the art. And then if you just want to speculate on the art, then on you, I would create more art and post that on Twitter, and that will bring attention to the collection, because that's your really strong suit is the art. So I would create, and then people retweeting the art just for fun. And afterwards, wow, this is a really great artist, or wow, this is really great art. I want to buy into, the PFP collection that talks about it. So yeah, there's a lot there. I mean, like, honestly, there's so much I can talk about for one specific project, but I feel like we'll stay here for another hour.
I'm glad that the holders of DeFi Geeks got Airdrop from his collection. He's a really nice guy. I don't know how to say it, but you was really good. Really good.
Спасибо.
Пожалуйста. Okay, thanks a lot, people. Thank you for coming. That's all. Have a nice day, everybody. Good luck.
Thank you. Enjoy your day.